Welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. This is your friend, Nurse Show. This is where you can always get your hair tips. Welcome back. Why you might cry during sex. It is common and nothing to be ashamed of. For many people, sex is a very emotional act. When having sex, you might find that you experience many emotions from pleasure to joy. Some people might even become so overwhelmed by feelings that they start to cry. The first thing you should know, if you have ever found yourself in that situation, is that while it could feel moderately embarrassing, crying during sex, it is typically nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing to worry about. That said, it can help to understand why this happens, and of course, how can we prevent it from happening again if that's what you want. Here is what you need to know. Reasons for crying during sex. You understand? If I've ever cried during sex or had a partner cry, the immediate question might be to ask yourself, why? Especially if it seems like the tears have come out of nowhere. These are a few potential reasons, anyway, to consider. Why crying is mostly associated with sadness. Many emotions could cause someone to cry during sex, from happiness to frustration. You are in an unwanted pain. If you ever experience unwanted pain and discomfort during sex, you may begin to cry. Sex should never be painful in an undesirable, uncomfortable way. Pain during sex, also known as dyspareunia, can be the result of an infection, an injury, or because there is a lack of adequate lubrication or foreplay. You are sad or depressed. If you are feeling sad or depressed, this emotion don't go away during sex. Even though sex is meant to be a pleasurable activity, you might find yourself suddenly crying a random moment in your day, which could include when you are having sex. You are happy, believe it or not. You might cry during sex simply because you are overwhelmingly happy. This might be because you are having sex with a partner you love deeply or really enjoy sex with them. So don't hold back. Let the tears flow. Let the tears flow. If you find yourself crying because you are so ecstatic, this can be an intimate bonding moment between you and your partner. And I also want you to know it is essential to communicate that you are crying because you are just happy so that you don't alarm your partner and embarrass them. You might cry during sex because you are ashamed of having sex. Some people have reservations about sex, causing them to cry during the act. This occurs mainly when the sex is outside of a committed partnership or marriage. Some people cry because they view sex as a dirty act. If you think of sex as a shameful act, unlearning this sentiment can help you have and enjoy sex comfortably. So it is better to unlearn them. And if you have any reservations about having sex with a particular person or in a certain or specific situation, hold off until this feeling have been resolved so that you can feel more comfortable during sex to be able to enjoy sex. You can cry during sex if you have had an orgasm. Some people find that every time they have orgasm, they cry a little. Orgasm is an intense bodily reaction to pleasure when having sex. All right. In 2007, there was a study researchers found that people who experience a wide range of emotion after orgasm, from crying to sneezing, having panic attacks, and all that. It is a peri-orgasmic phenomenon, but it is very rare. You feel overwhelmed if work, life, or any other personal issue overwhelms you. This could affect you during sex. When having sex, your body is steadily releasing a cocktail of hormone. If you combine the surge of hormone with stress or anxiety, of course you might cry during sexual intercourse. Some people have a condition called sexual performance anxiety that could cause them to cry during sex. And research shows that the disorders affect 9 to 25% of men and, of course, 6 to 16% of women. So maybe you are dealing with unresolved trauma. You could cry as well during sex. If you have been sexually or emotionally or psychologically abused on the past, this could cause trauma. Having lived through sexual trauma can make make having and enjoying sex after the incident becomes complicated, especially if you are yet to heal from your trauma. If crying during sex is due to unresolved trauma, you can start to heal by attending therapy or support groups, or you can cry if you have postcoital dysphoria. Postcoital dysphoria is a condition that causes intense feeling of sadness, especially in women after sex. According to a research in 2015, found that 46% of participants had experienced postcoital dysphoria at least once in their lifetime. If you have this condition, you might suddenly cry after having sex or even during the sexual act, even if you enjoyed it. In some cases, you might even get into a fight with your partner for no apparent reasons during sex. You might cry during sexual intercourse if you are unhappy with your partner. Crying could be a sign of issues in your relationship. If you have been going through emotional issues with your partner, or you are having resentment, harboring thought of splitting up, it can all come to a head during sex, and you start experiencing and you start crying. It can happen if you have hormonal changes. Certain hormones are released during sex, like oxytocin and dopamine. This can produce feelings of relaxation and happiness. However, you might react to the rush of these hormone changes along with the physical and emotional intensity of sex by tearing up or crying. If you are experiencing other conditions like PMS, that's premenstrual syndrome. You can cry during sex, during pregnancy, or maybe menopause, or if you are undergoing fertility treatment. You can cry if your body is going through hormonal changes that may cause you to cry during sex as well. At times, you are fully present. You might cry during sex when you are completely present in the moment and you are enjoying it. You can't explain yourself. Sometimes being in the moment creates space for other feelings to rush in, especially feelings we may have avoided, numbed, or repressed. So I want you to know that sex can trigger all kinds of emotions. So the best thing is for you to speak to your partner so that you don't get them embarrassed. If you are crying during sex, you got to let them know these are the reasons why you are crying. So continue to enjoy your sex life. Sex is beautiful. It's so sweet. So see you in the next video.